August 24th at 6:30, or it's August 24th at 6:30. Ms. Cindy, can you call the roll for the members, please?
Sure. Hale,
Here.
Lucero,
Here.
Hall, Bartholomew.
Here.
And we have an empty chair, so that's everybody. Does everybody have the previous meeting's minutes?
Yes.
Does anybody have any issues with the previous meeting's minutes?
I just noticed one thing. On the first page,
Uh-huh.
Chairman Hale's last name is not capitalized.
Oh, okay.
Not a big deal, but.
Okay.
It is a big
I'll
deal.
make sure I'll make sure I change that.
I'm right with the little H, don't bother me. Other than
Other than your name.
my name, does anybody else have anything else for it?
No.
Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Ms. Cindy, can you call the roll for approval of the agenda from last meeting?
Hale,
Yes.
Lucero,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Bartholomew.
Yes.
Does anybody have anything they want to add to the agenda for this meeting?
I would like to amend the agenda to, request the village board consider compensation for the ZBA members
Okay.
at the same rate of pay that they pay the planning commission members.
Okay.
I'll second it. Because I can't get an explanation of costs, so. Looking at the
Okay.
local communities around us, all of them are compensated, especially at the cost level that people have to pay to come here.
Okay.
Barring that, does anybody have any discussion on that?
Nope.
It's a quiet night. Ms. Cindy, can you call the roll?
Yes. Hale,
Yes.
Lucero,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Bartholomew.
Yes.
Okay.
We're going to open it up to public forum, basically comments before we get to the loan agenda item. So if anybody has anything, like in general, to state before we go over the current agenda, the one item on the agenda, which are you the petitioners? So you'll be right after this, so. Does anybody have anything they want to say? Any board members have anything they want to say before that?
Before you open the public hearing?
Right, before I open the public hearing for the one item. Anything open and about? Okay. I'll close the public forum unless anybody dissents to that. And then we have one agenda item. It's for 188 Pleasant Street and review of a garage variance for a rear and side setback. And I will open that agenda item for public comment, discourse. Would you like to speak to what it is you're trying to do?
Well, we want to put a garage in the back corner of our property. We sit on the corner of Pleasant and Cook, and our lot is only 40 couple feet wide, and then there's a village easement beyond that. So if we go with a 24-foot deep garage, do the 5-foot setback, and then park a car, we are actually parking in the village easement.
Okay.
While we have to maintain that, at any time, the village could come and take that.
Right.
And then our car
Yeah.
would then sit outside the garage.
Right.
So we did talk to all of our neighbors. This is something we've talked about for years. And we've checked with everyone around us. Nobody has any issues with it. There's no lines overhead either way. So it's just a matter of if you guys are okay with us doing it.
So I went and walked, did anybody else, I don't know if anybody else walked it.
I walk by it every
Um,
day, yeah.
I spoke with one of the petitioners. The issue for me, there's a garage to the east that overhangs the property line about 6 to 8 inches. And in talking with the gentleman, they would be going off the property line, the 2 feet off the property line. There is an issue there because the state fire code states that you have to be 10 feet between buildings. If it was just the north line, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But there's a problem in that you're going to be, you have that building and you want to go off your property line, and I get it, but you also have a building that comes into your property, so now you're talking about maybe 14 inches between buildings.
It's only the very front corner of the building into our
I
property.
understand, but it's, I mean, what we're talking about is fire code. We can't overturn fire code. With that said, for me, I don't see a way around this. If it, like I said, if it was only the north where there is no structures, I would approve it, but for me, there's putting that, being that close to two structures, it's a fire hazard.
I just don't like, expounding on what you're saying, their neighbor's garage, so like it shows like on the old Chemtech plat here, the survey, they removed that wood shed that exceeded the line, right? It's not there anymore, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah, they got rid of that. So then their garage, their current garage, it's not right on the line, it's a couple,
Can I approach and I'll show
Absolutely.
you?
so like this garage, so they ran a fence
So
here.
here's, they have the line right here. The line actually,
I do not, I'm sorry.
so the garage, the property line,
No, you're good.
the property line actually kind of goes like this.
So the survey misrepresents the garage.
Oh, yeah, because this is a mortgage
Mhm.
survey, it's not exact.
No, I understand.
Yeah, so
That's why I
that's
asked.
how it goes. There's about a foot to a foot and a half and about 8 inches over right at the corner.
Just on this side or on both sides?
Nope, just on the very front.
So this side tips back,
Yeah.
so it's just kind of tilted on the axis of
Yeah.
what's the line. See, without cash, we don't have a building inspector here to ask the questions. If they didn't come in for a variance, the village was gonna let them put it within 5 feet anyway. They weren't gonna say a word about it. They would,
Right.
that's why I was asking about, I mean, does a fire marshal look at this stuff to see where we're at?
I couldn't find anything on Romeo's, any fire ordinance with regard to buildings and structures in Romeo. The state code calls for 10 feet.
Absolutely, but that's the thing is, I
Yeah.
mean, who's checking that? But, because, I mean,
I
realistically.
mean, honestly, the house at the other corner of Cook and Benjamin, when they built their garage, that's within 5 feet. of
Right.
Absolutely.
Property also.
Well, there's.
And that was also their.
They are all over the place here,
Yeah.
where it's, and then whenever this set of ordinances was put in place, they put the 5-foot line in place, just to kind of push things apart, but,
See, I mean, I'd be willing to consider a 5 foot on the back side and approve the 2 feet on the north side, but does that require them to refile?
that's the north neighbor.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it came in the packet today.
Cindy, I have a question.
Why don't I take care of it?
Do they get a copy of the letters that are sent to the village from any of the, okay.
No. Yeah, the north neighbor dissented.
She did?
You can pass these,
Yes.
Oh, that's.
pass those down to Nate.
Oh, I have
I
it.
mean, it's public record,
Yeah.
so it's,
Yeah, I have them both.
yeah, I have it right here. So, I mean, the neighbor to the east with the garage on the line has no issue. The neighbor to the north does.
That's news to us. She told
Right,
us she
no,
was
it's,
okay
which
with
is
it.
why, so like whenever these things come in and it's gonna affect any property lines, I ask
Yeah.
specifically those neighbors to give me something in writing to, and I'm not saying you're lying to me.
No,
I
that's
just want
perfectly all right. I know
Proof
you
from
know.
those two people, ideally with a signature on it, that states that they're okay with it, because verbally it can get, well, what they said, they were all right with it, and then now they say they aren't. So it's, and I mean, I get it, my neighbor's garage is on my line too, so it's, but I can't have a fence that goes out to the street. Miss Cindy knows all about it, so. It's, anyway, continuing with the discourse. It's just, I mean, the fire code doesn't seem to even be considered. The village doesn't seem to,
Yeah.
and we're not the inspectors. So we're just waiting on the two lines. I mean, we can pick one, we can pick the other, we can pick neither.
For me, I mean, even though Ms. Young may have an issue, she does not have a structure, it's not encroaching really anything, I would still consider it. And that's just me, and if she would like to, I mean, the only opposition is, you know, limiting sun exposure to lawn.
Well, and if, you know,
Yeah, I mean, I
things
get
get
it.
pushed over, they land on your
Well,
yard.
there was a 6-foot fence up until last week, and so she didn't have exposure as far as the sun goes
Yeah.
there. And there's a shed there now that
Mhm.
blocks her sun.
Right,
That is 18 inches off the lot line.
yeah.
What's the building
Which
height?
is also not code.
It's freestanding. It's a freestanding.
It is, I believe it's a 9-foot.
15 feet to the ridge?
Is
Yeah, it's
what?
Is it 15 feet?
It's
to
a
the
9-foot
ridge?
eve, and then what's the eve?
To the peak of to the new building that you're proposing.
I mean, it's whatever that plan. is.
114 inches, 114.5.
And, well, right here, it says grade to ridge height is 15 feet.
Okay. I mean, that ridge isn't pointing at her yard, it's pointing towards the street.
Right.
So the ridge is, the rib board is not pointing at her, it's
Right.
not pointing towards the house, it's pointing lot to lot.
Right,
Mhm.
right, and, yeah, the slope is going,
I'm exactly the opposite, I'm okay with the east line, 2 feet, but I'm not okay with the north line. Cause I don't like when people dissent, cause that's why the ordinance is in place, is to protect the neighbor.
Yeah, for me, it's just about the proximity of the other, structure. I mean, even when we talked about last time, we had an issue like this come up, that someone wanted to do 2 feet.
Shed.
Yeah, it was the shed, and we all kind of agreed that at the bare minimum, it would be, a standard hallway size, so someone could get back there, so it wouldn't create an issue for any kind of fire hazard, for brush and everything else, like, so 32 to 36 inches, I could see that off the property line.
It's 2 foot from the edge of the east trough, there's 2 foot from the edge of the wall.
We'd be cool with going like 3 feet.
Well, I guess that's my
mean,
question, it's like,
I wanna make sure that I have enough room to park from that easement,
right,
just in case.
no, I understand.
I would say 3 feet from the structure, from,
From the east line, you're saying 3 feet off the line?
yeah.
So, to the wall or to the eave? Because you've got my question is, most people ask for variances to the wall, and then
That's
the
what I
eave
was
board
saying.
hangs over a foot.
I'd say because like I said, you need to be able to get in between the structures, right? Eve isn't creating that
No,
issue,
it's
the
not,
walls.
it's not an obstruction.
So I would say the walls. I would approve the walls.
So you're saying, I mean, I'm not trying to solve everything between 2 weeks, but it's 3 foot to the wall to the east line?
3 feet to the wall to the east line, is there any way, then let me ask you this, is there any way,
Well-
instead of the 2 foot to the north, can you walk it in further into your property?
I mean, I know it's not ideal, but,
I'm not
To-
gonna go any further than 3 foot, I won't build a garage. I mean, the whole purpose is, I mean, I want it to sit in the back corner, so I actually still have a decent yard.
Right, but I'm saying if your north neighbor is saying that they, they object to the 2 feet and they want the 5 foot to the north, could you pull it in the additional 3 feet? You're getting, you know,
yeah,
it's
because
shifting just a little bit.
I mean, what I see is the over encumbrance to your parcel and why a variance would need to happen is is why, your parcel is narrow.
Mhm.
You're only 41 feet wide. I feel you, I have a narrow lot too, but I also have a deep lot. What's your
But I
lot?
don't have a deep lot.
Yeah.
I have a 130-foot lot.
Well, usually 3 to 1 is standard, but I understand what you're saying. So it's, parking the car to the street's not affected by the north line, and I understand it's not what you want. I get that. But to me, the issue is being able to have a car fit without the easement being encumbered. And I don't know how wide your vehicles are. I don't wanna get into that whole thing, because things change. But I mean, I have a hard time going around the 5 foot to the north, because the neighbor's not in favor of it. That's just me. There's 4 of us sitting here, so.
Anybody else have anything to add?
24 is width or 24 is depth?
24 is the depth.
So 24 is coming from Cook to your neighbor, and 20 is going
The 20 is going from the north
to the
to
south.
the
Yeah.
south.
Okay. So it's 24 going north-south. Okay. Well,
I'm all for you having a garage. You guys haven't had one, I mean, it'd be nice. I'm stuck on the 5 foot too, that's my only problem. And I'd do this, I would feel the same way if someone was gonna build next to your property and they wanted the same thing. I'd be like, no, just because it's what it is, it's. It's the ordinance.
And I have to agree with Nate also. I'm not opposed to the 3 foot in the back, the 5 foot to the north.
yeah, it's, I mean, it's
I don't know how old the house is next door, I don't have any idea. I just know that we, you know,
40s.
if a fire did happen, you know,
Right. It's, I mean, it's a concern of theirs, and that's why the ordinance was put in place.
right.
To the east, I mean, yeah, but it's to the east,
To the
wrote a
east.
letter in favor of it. So, but the ordinance was put in place to protect the property lines and to go against the wishes of an equivalent taxpayer, to me, is, I don't know.
So I think that's the option, right? If you guys would come 5 feet from the north, I think it looks like this board is willing to work with you guys and, 5 feet from the north, 3 feet from the east. But other than that,
Does she realize that if we don't get the variance, you're going to allow us to build the garage there at 5 feet?
I'm misunderstanding. I don't wanna,
Does
you can
the
go,
homeowner to the north realize that if we don't get the variance, we can still build a garage, we just have to go 5 feet off?
I mean, I don't have full understanding
Yes.
with it, but I would assume that she would understand that.
yeah, I mean, she
She
mentioned.
was
She
sent,
says it
she
in
was
her
sent
letter.
these exact pieces of paper. She's okay with the 5 feet, but not the 2.
Yeah, she says 5 foot variance will protect my house. So she understands the 5 foot variance.
And the 5 foot.
But other than that, I can't speak to her understanding. She's not here. I don't think anybody.
But that's part of
It's
the.
too bad
reason
she
I
didn't
asked
tell
about
you
it.
that ahead of time.
Well, yeah, it's
You
Kim
know?
Campbell. Yeah, you'd think she would, since she already told me it'd be fine.
Right. But,
For Kim
So-
Campbell now.
Yeah.
like, I mean, I'm fine with, I mean, I don't know where you're at, where are you at on the east line?
East line, if we did 3 feet wall to wall, I'm good with that. So that would.
I'm still on the 5 foot variance, but
That's right.
I'm good with the 5 to the north and the 3
Okay.
to the east.
Does anybody, do you have anything, I mean, sorry, I don't wanna cut you off. Do you have anything else you wanna add? Cause
No.
we try to have like open discussion with you rather than
No,
run
I
it like a true
appreciate it.
meeting.
I'm sitting here really, really shocked because We literally had conversations with every one of our neighbors,
Yeah.
told them exactly what we wanted to do, and were completely blindsided by this. I would not have spent $1,000 on a variance
Yeah, I'm sorry.
had
That's
she
what I
not
mean.
already told me
Right.
that she was okay with us.
I'm
That's
very
what I'm
sorry.
thinking,
It's just,
Yeah. So I'm just sitting here rather shocked right now.
okay. So it's, I don't wanna be, you're having your own discussion, but it's like, it's either generally, we say no to everything, or we say yes to everything, but we can make exceptions to certain things. So this can, I mean, hypothetically, this could just be a hard no, or we can say, hey, we're not willing to meet one, but we're willing to meet part of the other, and we're allowed to do that. Or it's just kind of, so we can kind of piecemeal it together, but I don't want, I mean, we've already kind of tempered your expectations, I think, so I don't want to really beat it too much. So, does anybody want to make any motions?
I'll make a motion to approve the request amended to 3 feet to the east and 5 feet to the north.
So you're basically striking,
Striking the north and amending the east.
so you're striking the rear yard setback, which would be number 1, and you're amending number 2 to 3 feet?
Yes.
Does that make sense, Ms. Cindy, to you? I'm just making sure you can make some notes.
Amending number 2 to 3 feet,
And then striking number 1.
striking rear yard setback.
Yeah, the rear yard setback for 5 feet. Does anybody want to second that motion?
Support.
And Cindy, can you call the roll? Well, sorry, so I should probably read it off, as I just previously did, but the variance would be allowing the garage to be within the 5-foot setback to the east, shortening it from 5 feet to 3. That's what the board is, the motion is made. To move the side yard setback from 5 to 3 foot.
Side yard is 5,
Yeah, so he's moving it from 5, the variance would be from 5 to 3,
okay,
reducing it to 3 feet.
okay.
Nathan supported.
It
Shall we
was
call the roll?
supported by Bartholomew?
Yes.
Okay. Hale,
Yes.
Lucero,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Bartholomew,
Yes.
That closes that agenda item. There's nothing else on the agenda. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Cindy, can you call the roll? Just all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we are adjourned. Very sorry.
Sorry.
No, that's all right.
Incredible.
It's not your fault.
Be the bearer of bad news. But it's, yeah, it's
Like I said,
no,
I'm just kind of shocked.
please.
Yeah.